Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Shauna and this is CK's Life. So, I promised you guys an episode 2 for my Instagram / influencer series here on my channel, and I really enjoyed filming the first episode. If you have not checked that out, definitely go check it out. It will be here in the cards up above so you can watch that after this one. New hair, who dis? All that's left is for these to be fixed. They're busted. I got one nail hanging on for dear life. So the first tip that I have for you guys is something that you may have heard 1,000 times already, but it is so true. Post consistently. Being consistent on Instagram is very crucial, very important when it comes to just your overall social media presence. And if you want to grow and if you see your brand, your page going somewhere in the future, then you definitely want to be consistent because people are going to start showing up and you want to show up for this audience. Do your hashtag research. And again, I've mentioned this in the episode 1, but just to speak on it even further, do your hashtag research. Trust me, I feel like I should have gotten on this a lot sooner and I would have seen growth from when I first started versus now. I never really took hashtags too seriously. I would just do the bare minimum, I would just throw in any random hashtags. Well, not that random. I would try to make sure that it was related to the post that I was sharing, but also I never really used it to the max. So you're allowed to use up to 30. I think 30 is the max per post. And as a nano influencer / micro influencer, when you're just starting out and you have a small account, it's best to target hashtags that are in a smaller range, so to speak. So I have a good friend that I went to school with, and she has been helping me out with my influencer journey as well. And she was the first person that I really heard about this method. But basically what it is you want to do is you want to have a few hashtags that number wise, there's only 1,000 to 5,000 posts. And then you want to do a hashtag that is maybe anywhere between 30,000 and 50,000, and then it goes on and on. I think the max is, for me being a smaller creator on Instagram, I try to aim or stick to rather posts that fall underneath 1 million posts, and even 1 million is a stretch. So these days I've been sticking to around 500, 600K or lower because it heightens your chances of being discovered. If I shared my post and then I tagged it into a group of posts that were up to 1 million posts, it's harder for me to be noticed because I'm not a big account yet. So it's harder for people to discover me unless I had some really bomb content. I don't want to discourage you to say it's not possible. It is possible. People blow up all the time, every day. So just keep that in mind when you are tagging your posts. You want them to be relevant, as well as use the max amount of hashtags that you can use. Also, to piggyback off of using relevant hashtags, try to use niche specific hashtags to your niche, your content, whatever it is you do. Try to find your community, basically, other people that you want to network with in that community, in your hashtags as well. Again, for me, as using me as an example, because that's all I can do, I like to use a mixture of hashtags, and I recently learned that I should switch up my hashtags and not use the same hashtags for every post. Next tip I have for you guys, my favorite tip actually, because I like to have more of a cohesive feed. I'm on the path to making my feed even more cohesive than it is now. But my favorite tip is to post often in your stories. The best part of this, especially when it comes to, boosting your engagement on your posts, is you want to share that brand new post that you just shared to your feed immediately into your stories. There's a lot going on outside. I hope you guys can hear me. I find that this helps drive traffic because, let's face it, people these days, there's a lot going on with the Instagram algorithm, a lot of which I can't explain, nor do I understand sometimes. But the way Instagram has been working these days is, I feel like you'll get more discovery when you start to utilize all of their tools. Like, for example, they recently launched Instagram Reels. I'm sure if you start doing more Reels, you're going to get discovered more, because Reels are more likely to land on the Explore page than your brand new post, unless you have that community and that engagement that just shoots you up there. But if you're like me and you're a smaller creator, you kind of have to work your way up, and you have to utilize any and everything you can to boost your posts. In the first few minutes of my post being up there to 30 minutes, I like to share it to my stories, because people like to watch videos. People like to scroll to your stories. The next thing is I like to keep it even more personal in my stories. That's kind of my way of connecting with my community and just being myself. So I could literally show you what I've been doing all day, and like I just put less pressure on being curated and aesthetic, so to speak, in my stories, whereas my posts, I want them to be aesthetic because I like that look. Keep that in mind when you are posting in your stories. Another tip to piggyback off of that is try to make your stories interactive. I feel like, especially when you're sharing your posts, I feel like this is a great way for you to connect with your tribe and for you to know more about your audience, what they like and what they don't like. I like to, these days I'm practicing throwing in a question box, or maybe one of those sliders that you see, or even polls. Polls are my favorite, where you can ask them this or that, and then they have the chance or the opportunity to actually be a part of your story. So I don't know, me personally, as a viewer of other people's stories, I like interacting with them through their stories. So I've been trying to incorporate it more in my stories, and that is a great tip for you if you want to boost your engagement on Instagram. Mention other accounts. Now, I'm not just saying mention any old account. For me personally, I find that it works best when I've already kind of been interacting and engaging with the person that I am mentioning in my stories, because it just comes off more authentic. It doesn't feel fake. So I like to share accounts of other women that I admire their feed, or maybe a really inspiring caption they post, or just like how they operate on Instagram as a whole over the last consecutive weeks. I like to promote accounts like that on my page. And then, like I mentioned in episode 1, this is something that you've heard me say in episode 1. If you mention these posts, they will more than likely return the favor, especially if you're being genuine and authentic and just being nice. Don't just do it and assume that they're going to repost you, because they don't have to repost you in front of their audience. So just keep that in mind. The last tip that I'm going to share with you guys, which is a tip that I actually need to take my own advice for, is to create your own branded hashtag. Now, this is something that I've heard over and over and over again. This is not just from one person. I've heard it from numerous resources that I've personally indulged in on my own, and it's time that I finally sit down with a pen and a paper and figure out my own branded hashtag. But if you're wondering what a branded hashtag is, for example, Monday Motivation, that's a branded hashtag. Thursday Thoughts, that's another branded hashtag. If you made it this far in the video, you are an MVP, y'all. You want to hang out with me some more? Then definitely click this video right here, and I will see you on over there.